All right, so picture this. You wake up one morning and bam, thousands of potential customers are basically knocking down your door like, hey, tell us more about your stuff.
Okay, that's a pretty sweet dream.
Right. But what if I told you it's not a dream at all? What if it's totally doable with something as simple as a Google search?
Now you've got my attention.
Yeah, we're talking about a crazy effective method from this AI guru, Helena Liu. And it all boils down to using Google and, get this, our buddy ChatGPT, in a way you've probably never even thought of.
See, this is why I love these deep dives. You always uncover these hidden gems, these simple tools used in really clever ways.
Totally. And the best part, it's not some crazy complex software or anything. It's stuff you probably already use every day. But before we get into the nitty-gritty of how it works, let's talk about why we even care about this whole lead generation thing in the first place.
Right. Got to start with the basics.
Exactly. So, in a nutshell, a lead is basically just a fancy word for someone who might be interested in what you're selling, right? A potential customer. And in the world of business, freelancers, you name it, it's all about those connections.
It's like that saying, it's not what you know, it's who you know. But even more important, it's about who knows about you and what you can offer.
100%. This method that Helena's using, it's not about just throwing stuff out there and hoping it sticks. It's about finding those people who are actually in the market for what you're selling.
Exactly. Instead of shouting into the void, you're having a targeted conversation with someone who's already raised their hand and said, hey, this stuff interests me.
Yes. It's like, think about the difference between cold calling a list of random numbers and having someone say, hey, tell me more about that thing you do. Night and day, right?
Absolutely. And what I find fascinating about Helena's approach is how she starts with something so familiar, a simple Google search.
Okay, so spill the beans. What makes her Google search so special?
It's all about precision. She constructs this like laser-focused search string. It's like she's telling Google exactly who she wants to connect with.
So it's more than just typing in a few keywords and hoping for the best.
Way more. This is strategic. It's about breaking down the search into key parts.
All right, I'm hooked. Hit me with part one.
First things first, you've got to narrow down your search. Tell Google where you want to hunt for those leads. LinkedIn, Instagram, you decide.
So like if I'm a photographer trying to connect with potential clients on Instagram, I tell Google, hey, just show me profiles on Instagram.
You got it. You're telling Google to ignore everything else and zero in on that specific platform.
Makes sense. So I've got my location set. Now what? How do I get even more specific?
Keywords, my friend. This is where you really hone in on your ideal client. If you're a web designer, your keyword might be, well, web designer for starters. Or maybe you're targeting a niche like UX designer or WordPress developer. You get the idea.
Ah, so it's all about getting granular, making sure I'm not wasting time on people who aren't a good fit.
Exactly. You're filtering out the noise and focusing on the people who are most likely to be interested in what you offer.
Love it. Okay, so that's two parts of the puzzle. What's the final piece, the secret sauce that makes this whole thing work?
This is where Helena blows my mind, honestly.
Yeah.
She adds an email domain filter right there in the Google search.
Wait, you can do that?
Most people don't realize it, but
Oh.
yeah. You can tell Google, hey, only show me results that also include an email address.
So instead of me clicking through hundreds of profiles, hoping to stumble upon an email address, I'm only seeing the ones that are, like, ready to be contacted.
Exactly. It's genius.
Yeah.
You're basically pre-screening every single profile before you even see it.
That's incredible. Okay, so I've got my website, my niche keyword, and now this email filter. What happens when I unleash this magical search string on the unsuspecting internet? What kind of results are we talking about here?
Oh, just a few hundred leads, maybe 1,000.
Wait, seriously? Okay, that's amazing, but now I'm a little terrified. What do I do with all those leads? That's a lot to manage.
I know, right? It's like striking gold, but then you have to figure out how to extract it and use it. That's where the real magic of AI comes in. You know, it's kind of funny, right? We always think of AI as this, like, super complicated thing.
Yeah, like something out of a sci-fi movie.
Exactly. Only for tech wizards and stuff. But what Helene is showing us here, it's like AI for the rest of us. You don't need to be a coder or anything.
Right. And the tools she's using, I mean, we're talking Google search, ChatGPT. This is stuff we can actually use.
100%. And in this part of the process, AI takes center stage.
Okay, so walk me through it. We've got this massive list of leads from our super targeted Google search. Now what? What do we do with all that data?
Well, that's where ChatGPT swoops in to save the day, but not in the way you might think. Forget about writing code or learning complicated commands. It's way simpler than that.
Music to my ears. I'm all about keeping things simple.
Me too. Think of ChatGPT as this, like, super organized assistant. It's here to take all that messy data and whip it into shape.
Okay, I like the sound of that. A virtual assistant who loves spreadsheets, I'm sold. But how does it actually work?
So picture this. You've got all these names, websites, email addresses, all jumbled up from your Google search.
Yeah, kind of overwhelming just thinking about it.
Right. But you just feed all that data into ChatGPT with one simple instruction. Organize this for me.
Wait, that's it? Seriously?
It's that easy. Helene actually gives the exact phrase she uses. Format the data below into a table with these columns. Full name, company name, website URL, email, and phone number.
So you're saying I just talked to ChatGPT like it's a real person? That's wild.
And the crazy part is, it works. ChatGPT takes that messy data and turns it into this beautifully organized spreadsheet.
No way. Okay, that's a game changer for sure.
Right. Think about how much time this saves you. Manually copying and pasting all that info into a spreadsheet. Ugh, my worst nightmare.
I'm getting a headache just thinking about it.
Right. But ChatGPT, it does it in seconds.
So we've basically got a team of virtual assistants working around the clock to organize our contacts. This is mind-blowing. But, okay, we have this beautiful spreadsheet. Now what? How do we actually start connecting with these people, like in a real human way?
That's the million-dollar question, right? And honestly, this is where a lot of people get tripped up. They either go the spam route, which never ends well.
Yeah, nobody wants to be that person.
Exactly. Or they get so overwhelmed by the sheer number of leads that they just kind of freeze up and don't do anything at all.
So how do we avoid those pitfalls? How do we make sure our outreach hits the mark, that it's genuine and actually starts conversations?
Well, automation's going to be key here.
Okay, automation. But how do we automate things without, seeming like robots in the process? I don't want people to feel like they're just another name on a list.
I hear you. And honestly, that's what's so brilliant about Helena's system. She's found a way to use automation, not just for efficiency, but to actually enhance that human touch.
Okay, so we've got this gold mine of leads, all nice and organized, thanks to ChatGPT. But now comes the part I always dread, actually reaching out to these people. I'm kind of the king of letting a good spreadsheet just sit there.
Oh, I hear you. It's that fear of being pushy, Like, hey, I found your email address. Now buy my stuff. Nobody wants to be that guy.
Exactly. But what if we could automate that whole process, make it less painful?
Well, that's the beauty of Helena's system. You actually can. And the best part is you don't need any fancy software or anything.
Oh, tell me more. This is my love language, free and easy.
Right. It starts with a tool I bet you already use all the time. Google Sheets.
Google Sheets, isn't that just for, like, budgets and to-do lists?
Well, yeah, it can do all that.
Yeah.
But it's also the perfect bridge between ChatGPT and the automation magic we're about to unleash.
Okay, now you're speaking my language. Automation magic. Let's do it.
So think of your spreadsheet as like a launch pad, right? You've got all your leads ready to blast off. Now we just need a rocket.
All right, I'm hooked. What's this rocket you speak of?
Get ready for it. It's called Make.com. And before you say, hold on, I'm not a tech person, trust me, it's super user-friendly.
Make.com. Okay, that rings a bell. I think I've heard good things.
Yeah, it's basically like having a little digital assistant working behind the scenes 24/7, sending out emails, making sure you connect with the right people at the right time.
Okay, that sounds amazing and a little scary, but how does it actually work? Talk to me like I'm 5. I need the step-by-step.
Okay, so basically you connect Make.com to your Google Sheet. It's like Make.com has this eagle eye on that spreadsheet, watching for any new rows, which represent your new leads.
So every time a new lead pops up, Make.com sees it and knows what to do.
Exactly. And here's where it gets really cool. Instead of blasting out an email the second a new lead appears, which can feel a little, aggressive, Make.com lets you space out those messages.
Ah, so it feels more natural, less spammy. I like it.
Right. And here's the best part. Remember those dynamic fields we talked about in ChatGPT?
Yeah, the ones that automatically fill in the person's name and stuff.
Those.
Yeah.
Make.com takes those personalized details and plugs them right into your emails. So even though it's automated, each message feels personal.
No way. That's brilliant.
Right. And the best part is, Helena actually includes an example email template in her tutorial. It's short, sweet, to the point, because who really has time to read a novel in their inbox?
Amen to that. So it's all about grabbing their attention, making them want to learn more.
Exactly. A little intrigue goes a long way.
Wow, this is incredible. We've gone from a mountain of data to this sleek, automated outreach system. I can't believe how simple it actually is.
That's the power of combining the right tools and strategies. But it's important to remember, even though we're automating things, we always want to approach our outreach with a human touch.
Right, like we're not trying to be robots here. We want to build real connections with people.
Exactly. This method, these tools, they're here to help us do that, to amplify our efforts, not replace them.
I love that. So as we wrap up this deep dive into Helena Liu's amazing method, what's the one thing you hope our listeners take away from all this?
I think the biggest takeaway here is that AI isn't this scary, complicated thing. It's really about using these incredible tools to work smarter, not harder, so we can focus on what matters,
Wow.
building relationships, creating value, and making a difference.
I couldn't have said it better myself. It's about taking action, experimenting, and finding what works best for you. And who knows what other hidden gems are out there just waiting to be discovered. That's the beauty of technology, right? It's always evolving. Until next time, happy experimenting.